It's Friday night. Say yeah for it's another edition of NFL Friday. Hello, friends. Anthony Floyd here with you for another edition of Strictly Sports NFL Friday. So glad to have you with us here tonight. Michael Bullock here with me. Michael Fletcher not with us tonight. Work commitments beyond his control. So I'm going to dive into week 5, which got underway last night. The New England Patriots taking care of business against the Indianapolis Colts. 38-24 was the final there. So Tom Brady made history, over 500 career touchdown passes to Josh Gordon, and the Patriots were off and running. So with all that being said, let's dive right on into the rest of the action for this week. We're going to start it off with a matchup of the Tennessee Titans squaring off against my Buffalo Bills at New Era Field in Buffalo. This game will be over on CBS. I believe it's Spiriditas and Adam Archuleta. Yep. Spiriditas, Adam Archuleta will have the call. And Tennessee opening up as 5.5-point favorites. And just got to check the series history here. It's running a little slow. I do apologize for that. That's why we had a brief delay. All right. Tennessee leads the all-time series 27-15. Their last meeting was 2015. Buffalo won in Nashville 14-13. Last meeting in Buffalo was 2012. A 5-star classic, Tennessee winning 35-34. Now, the Bills have not beaten the Titans at home since opening week of the 2000 season on a Sunday night. So there's that. Okay. I believe we have all the schematics out of the way, so let's dive right on in. The Titans are in a groove offensively after Marcus Mariota exploded for almost 400 yards of total offense in week 4. The wide receivers match up well against Buffalo's cornerbacks, and running back Dion Lewis should thrive catching passes out of the backfield. Defensive coordinator Dean Pease will dial up the interior gap blitzes and nickel blitzes to pressure Josh Allen into making careless throws. The Bills' formula for fixing their 31st ranked offense has been made clear all week. They want to run the ball more often on early downs and focus on quick, short throws when they decide to pass. The Titans have allowed the 4th most yards a carry, 5.04, on first and second downs this season, which might make Tennessee the perfect opponent to settle down a Josh Allen-led offense that turned the ball over 3 times and allowed 7 sacks in a shutout loss last week. Tennessee, a 57% favorite. The Bills followed up the best all-around game in terms of total efficiency, 98.4 since 06, with their league-leading 3rd game with an overall efficiency below 10 in the shutout loss to the Packers. Tennessee could potentially seize control of the race for the AFC South with a road win, as the Jags have a tougher contest in Kansas City, which we'll get into later. Nothing more to say here. I got Tennessee winning 27-13. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, come on in. Let's get your thoughts on Tennessee and Buffalo.
All right. Of course, hello, everybody. Of course, Mike Bullock here for another great edition of NFL Friday, to say the very least. And yeah, there's really nothing more that need. Who did you go with, Florio? I couldn't quite hear.
I went with Tennessee, 27-13. What about you?
All right, you went with Tennessee. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tennessee as well. The Bills basically, shall we say, came back to earth after their upset again over the Minnesota Vikings, and this is where I think the Titans will take advantage of the situation. Mariota, I think, will have a really good game here. Expect Derrick Henry to have a good game running the ball. So yeah, there's really nothing more needs to be said. I got Tennessee winning this one as well. I'm gonna say 24-14 is gonna be my final score. So nothing more to say. Let's move right along to our next game.
Yeah, bear with me. I have a little bit of a cold here, so trying my
Yeah,
best
I
to
could
get through this.
tell.
Yeah. So let's try to get this done a little quicker here this evening, even though I have no commitments. So anywho, New York Giants against the Carolina Panthers next. This one over on Fox, Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. Kenny Albert with Charles Davis and Pam Oliver. Kenny Albert will be filling in for Kevin Burkhardt while he anchors Fox's Major League Baseball playoff coverage. Just to let you know. Carolina opening up as 6.5 to 7 point favorites here. I'm not surprised to hear that. And the series history favors Carolina by a count of 5-4. Their last meeting was 3 years ago in New York. I'll never forget it. A 5-star shootout. Carolina won it 38-35 in the Meadowlands. Last meeting in Carolina was 2013. Carolina put a whooping on the Giants 38-0. Last time the Giants beat Carolina was in 2012, a 36-7 beatdown. That was in Charlotte. So, Bullock, Giants in Carolina, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll definitely never forget that meeting back in 2015, that shootout. But yeah, the Giants. They they're looking to pre- prevent from going to 1-4. But yeah, I just think Carolina's defense, I think, definitely got better now that they signed Eric Reed, and I think this could definitely give the it could definitely give the Giants some fits. So yeah, and of course the Giants, of course, fell, of course, to the New Orleans Saints. So it's not going to get any easier for this team. So to me, I got to go with the Carolina Panthers to win this one. I'm going to say 28-17 is going to be my final score. So I give it to you, Florio.
This isn't a prime spot for the Giants offense to get on track. The Panthers have a top 10 scoring defense, while Eli Manning and company are having trouble scoring points. The Giants are 29th in the NFL, averaging 18.3 points a game. The Panthers have won their past 3 games, coming off the bye, and averaged 30.7 points in those games. Giants are having major trouble protecting Eli Manning, who already has been sacked 15 times. The Panthers thrive on stopping the run and putting pressure on the quarterback, so this could be a long day for Manning against a defense with fresh legs coming off the bye week. Carolina's offense was starting to click before the bye, rushing for 230 yards. Christian McCaffrey had 184 in its most recent outing against Cincinnati to get the play action game going. Carolina opening up as 73% favorites. Giants offense is once again struggling, ranking in the bottom 5 of the league in offensive efficiency, even with the addition of Saquon Barkley and the return of a healthy Odell Beckham Jr. FPI still sees the Panthers defense as an above average unit, ranking 7th in the league. So I'm going with Carolina to win this game as well. Bullock, meet you, Mike, please. Very distracting.
I'm sorry. I thought I muted it.
Yeah. Carolina. I got Carolina winning this one. My final score 28-13. Carolina over the Giants. So really nothing more to say here. Let's move on to one of our top games of the week, especially on our side of the ledger. An interesting matchup. MF and I ranked this as the number 2 game on our side of the ledger when it comes to the AFC side of things. This is on CBS, a matchup of the Miami Dolphins and the Cincinnati Bengals at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. Kevin Harlan, Rich Gannon, Steve Tasker will have it, and Cincinnati opening up as 6-point favorites. Series history favors Miami, though, 15-6. They met last year in Cincinnati. Bengals won 22-7, snapping a 3-game losing streak to the Dolphins. Dolphins' last win in Cincinnati was 2012, and overall 17-13. Well, actually, no, overall was 2013 in Miami, but Cincinnati was 2012, 17-13. Miami won. So let's see. Dolphins aren't doomed after their eye-opening loss to the Patriots, but it did reveal their margin for error is smaller than most good teams. This was already a tough road matchup before the Dolphins' injuries started to show up. The status of Miami's makeshift interior offensive line screams for a big day from Geno Atkins. The Bengals' suddenly electric receiving crew could create trouble for a Dolphins secondary without Bobby McCain. Bengals are brimming with confidence after a 3-1 start, despite the concerning performance of their defense over the past 2 games. But with the return of Vontaze Burfict and the likely return of Joe Mixon, the Bengals should be able to handle the Dolphins, whose offense disappeared against Bullock's Patriots last week. Cincinnati opening up as 76% favorites. Dolphins rank dead last in FPI's new pass block win rate metric, which uses NFL Next Gen stats. That doesn't bode well against a Bengal team with a good pass rush. Cincinnati wins. My final score, 31-20. Another hard times week for MF's Dolphins. I know he had high hopes for them after that 3-0 start, but it was back to reality at the hands of your Patriots, Bullock. So nothing more to say. Dolphins will lose again. I got Cincy, 31-20. Very high on them right now. So nothing more to say, Bullock. I mean, can the Dolphins bounce back from that humiliating loss against your Patriots last week?
I hate to say it, but I got to agree with you. I mean, the thing is, this Dolphins team was off to a really good 3-0 start until they hit a buzzsaw in the New England Patriots and Cincinnati. I mean, what can you say about this Bengals team? Basically, they've been off to such a really good start up to this point, so I expect that streak to continue. I'm going to say 28-20 Cincinnati beats Miami, so nothing more to say. Let's move on to the next game.
And we stay on our side of the ledger, the AFC side of the ledger. Baltimore Ravens squaring off against the Cleveland Browns at the Dog Pound in Cleveland. First Energy Stadium, or whatever that name is. It's over on CBS with Andrew Catalon, James Lofton, and John Schriffen. Baltimore opening up as 3-point favorites. Baltimore owns the series history 29-9, including the last 5 meetings in a row, including the last 4 in Cleveland. I mean, Ravens swept both meetings last year. Of course, they won in Cleveland last year, 27-10. The Browns have not beaten the Ravens at home since 2013. That was a 24-18 win for them that year. So, all right, Bullock. I mean, the Browns are a more improved team like we knew they would be. But how about the Ravens last week going into Pittsburgh and absolutely manhandling the Steelers on a primetime stage?
Yeah, what can you say about this Baltimore Ravens team? I mean, what they did last week, going into Pittsburgh and beating them up. I mean, that was just I don't think anybody saw that coming with them. I mean, Joe Flacco, having a solid early start to the season. The defense, I mean, what can you say? They continue to play very well, as we always expect from them. And the Cleveland Browns, I mean, what can you say? I mean, they've been better than what we expected. Especially with Baker Mayfield, and I'll tell you what, I mean, if a few things had gone their way, I think they could have beaten the Oakland Raiders, but Baltimore, I think, is definitely gonna make it very tough for them. But I think this could still be a close one. But in the end, I still gotta go with the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm gonna say it's low scoring. I think it's gonna be in the 24-17 range. So nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
This looks like the best Browns team in more than a decade, but they still find ways to games. Baltimore has been the best second half team in the NFL this year. Ravens haven't lost in Cleveland since 2013, outscoring the Browns 59-30 in the second half over the past 4 trips there. Baker Mayfield has done a lot of things well, but the level of challenge increases against a Raven defense that is ranked in the top 5 in every major category. Baltimore 72% favorites. This game pits a team FPI loves more than most against a team it is more skeptical of than most. Though Vegas has Baltimore as a 3-point favorite, FPI thinks the line should be over a touchdown. But nonetheless, I'm going with Baltimore to win as well. I agree with you, Bullock, without a doubt. A little more higher scoring than you, just a smidge. 27-20. I'm going to go with Baltimore to defeat Cleveland. So nothing more to say here. Let's just move on to our next matchup. We move over to the Fox side of the ledger. A matchup of the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions from Ford Field in Detroit. Tom Brenneman, Chris Spielman, Shannon Spake will be there. Green Bay opening up as 1 to 1.5 point favorites with another spread, having this as a pick'em game. Okay. Series history, all Green Bay, 98-70 with 7 ties. However, last year, the Detroit Lions did something against the Packers that they haven't done since 1991, and that was sweep the season series with the Packers. A 35-11 beatdown at Ford Field last year. Green Bay's last win in Detroit was the year before, 2016. That was a 31-24 win. I believe that was for the division title, if I'm not mistaken. So, okay. Aaron Rodgers is 13-3 in his career against the Lions with 34 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, including only 1 interception in his past 8 games against Detroit. But he has never had to do it without his top 3 receivers. If Devontae Adams with a calf, Randall Cobb with a hamstring, and Geronimo Allison with a concussion are all out, Rodgers and the Packers are in big trouble. The Lions can double-team Jimmy Graham and leave the 3 rookie receivers in single coverage. If that's the case, Detroit has a shot. Detroit could pull an upset here. Rodgers might be the best quarterback in the NFL, but there is clear concern about who he is going to throw to Sunday. The strength of Detroit's defense is in its secondary with Darius Slay and Glover Quinn. With 3 of the Lions' top 4 safeties, while 3 of the Lions' top 4 safeties are also injured, including starter Quandre Diggs. If the corners are healthy against rookie wideouts, there is a significant advantage in a game that otherwise seems fairly even. Green Bay, 50% favorites. FPI sees this game as a coin flip. Though Rodgers led the Packers to a heroic comeback victory in Week 1 against Chicago, he hasn't posted a total QBR above 60 in the 3 games since. If Rodgers' knee is affecting him, FPI will mostly miss that, since it takes a wide lens view of past QB performances. So, because of the injuries here, if those injuries are true, I'm going to have to go to the Detroit Lions to win this game. 28-23. Nothing more to say. Bullock, how do you follow that?
You know what, Florio? I mean, I'm with you. I'm actually gonna go with the Detroit Lions as well. I mean, like you said, I mean those injuries to those wide receivers, they're out. I mean, that's gonna make it very tough for the Green Bay Packers, especially Aaron Rodgers, because Jimmy Graham is probably gonna get double teamed. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets triple teamed. I mean, they're gonna try to make Aaron Rodgers throw to any of those other unnamed receivers. So trust them. So we'll just have to wait and see. But either way, I think it's going to be tough for them, and I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions to win this one, and I'm going to go with the exact same score. 28-23 is going to be my final score as well. So there's really nothing more that needs to be said. Let's move right along. And before we move right along to the next game, I got an update. The Red Sox currently lead the Yankees 5-3, going to the bottom of the 8th in Game 1 of the division series. So it's really starting to getting to be a close one, Florio.
Yeah, it looked like the Red Sox were going to run away with it, especially after that 3-run home run by JD Martinez in the first. That got the Sox up and off and running. But you keep an eye on that while I,
I'll keep you updated as the I'll keep everybody updated as the rest of the game progresses. But right now, let's move on to the next game.
And we move on to the AFC Game of the Week. And what a matchup we have here. The Jacksonville Jaguars squaring off against the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. This game is on CBS, and a game of this magnitude, you know you got to have them. Hello, friends. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson, they will have it. And Kansas City opening up as 2.5 to 3 point favorites. Series history favors the Jacksonville Jaguars 6-5. However, the Kansas City Chiefs have won the last 3 meetings in a row against Jacksonville, including their last one in 2016, a 19-14 win at Arrowhead. Jacksonville last beat the Chiefs in 2009 in Jacksonville, 24-21. Jaguars' last win in Kansas City, got to go back to 2007, a 17-7 win at Arrowhead for Jacksonville. So nothing more to say here. I think I set up all the schematics. So Michael Bullock, I mean, your game of the week right here. Jacksonville Jaguars, Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead, A team on the call. Man, this is going to be a good one.
Well, Florio, I can basically tell you this. This is basically going to be a game of the number one offense in the Kansas City Chiefs against the number one defense in the Jacksonville Jaguars. A test for that Jacksonville defense, because right now Kansas City, they are the top ranked scoring offense in the National Football League with 36 points a game. I mean, and this is all from not more than a second-year quarterback in Patrick Mahomes, who early in the season, me and Fletch were basically crapping on going into the year. But I'll tell you what, I mean, if he's going to be right now a candidate to be MVP. I know this is still early in the season, but with the way he's looking so far, I mean, you got to say he's got to be a front runner for MVP. But this will also be a test for him. Can he go up against that big front line of the Jacksonville Jaguars? So, wow, this is a tough one. I mean, because this game is in Kansas City, I'm going to actually take a chance. I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs in this one. I'm going to say I think this is going to be low scoring, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I'm going to say 20-17 is going to be my final score. And yeah, I mean, this is going to be really good. But another match I'm really going to be interesting to see, and that's Jalen Ramsey matched up with the speedster Tyreek Hill. So that's going to be something to watch. So Kansas City wins, but it would not surprise me if the Jaguars do pull it out. So nothing more to say. Florio, here we are in week 5, and we got a big game in the AFC, and some people are calling this a possible AFC Championship preview. It's possible.
Wow, that's news to me. But yeah, Patrick Mahomes destroyed the Broncos outside the pocket last Monday night, 192 yards, and the Jaguars' number one priority is keeping them from getting loose. They have the personnel to match up against the Chiefs' weapons. The problem is maintaining coverage while Mahomes is scrambling. He will make 3 or 4 big plays outside of the pocket that will make the difference. Plus, the Jaguars haven't been turned in back-to-back good offensive performances this season. The goal for the Chiefs on Sunday is to score more than 20 points. Jacksonville was 1-5 last season in games in which it allowed more than 20. The Jaguars haven't allowed more than 20 this season. The Chiefs were 10-2 last year and are 4-0 this year when scoring more than 20. It's impossible to see how the Chiefs won't get past that mark on Sunday at home, no matter the quality of the opposing defense. Kansas City, 59% favorite. How good has the Chiefs offense been through 4 weeks? It is the 5th most efficient offense since 2006, trailing only this year's LA Rams and 3 iterations of the Patriots, the undefeated year in 2007, 2011, and 2015. This might be KC's most difficult encounter yet. However, as the Jaguars are FPI's top-ranked defense and have been the second most efficient unit this season. The Jags are only slightly behind their pace from 2017 when they ended the season as the most efficient defense. I got Kansas City winning as well. My final score, 24-20 in favor of the Kansas City Chiefs. So, yeah, AFC Game of the Week. Yeah, Bullock will be all over that, along with Derek Ferreira. So, absolutely. So, with all that being said, let's move on to our next matchup. We stay on our side of the ledger. Another CBS matchup on the AFC side. The Denver Broncos squaring off against the New York Jets at MetLife Stadium in the Meadowlands. Iron Eagle, Dan Fouts, Evan Washburn on the call. The Broncos opening up as 1 to 1.5 point favorites with another spread calling it a pick'em. Denver leads the all-time series 19-15 with a tie. Their last meeting was last year in Denver, all Denver, 23-0 beatdown. Broncos have won the last 3 meetings in this series, including the last meeting in New York, which was in 2014. Broncos won that one going away 31-17. Jets' last win over Denver was 2010, a 24-20 win in Denver. And the Jets last beat the Broncos at home all the way back in 2002 at the old Giants Stadium in the Meadowlands, 1913. So it would be easy to say the Jets have a 21-year-old rookie quarterback whom the Broncos defense should be able to confuse at times. But Sam Darnold has one more touchdown pass than the Broncos' Case Keenum does this season, 4 to Keenum's 3. And Darnold has thrown 1 fewer interception than Keenum, 5 to Keenum's 6. The Broncos say they're playoff worthy, and if that's true, this is a game they must win. If the Jets couldn't stop Blake Bortles, how are they going to deal with the Broncos, who have the third-ranked rushing offense and big play receivers? It's hard to imagine the Jets solving their defensive issues in 1 week. Their season has that slipping away feel to it. Even though the Jets are 59% favorites, this is one of only 2 remaining games in which FPI favors the Jets. They'll need more of the Week 1 version of Darnold, 83.1 total QBR, than Weeks 2 to 4, with a QBR of 24.3. Denver's defense hasn't lived up to the hype this season, as it ranks number 23 in defensive efficiency. But nonetheless, I'm going with the Denver Broncos to win this game. I'm going to go 23-17. Denver over the Jets. Nothing more to say. Bullet, come on in. Denver against the Jets in the Meadowlands. What do you say? Your mic, Bullock.
We're talking about Denver and the
Yes.
Jets, right?
Yes.
And I'm guessing you had Denver winning this one.
23-17.
Yeah, I mean, I got Denver winning this one as well. I'm actually going to go a smidgen higher and say 24-17. So I expect Denver to bounce back after such a tough loss to Kansas City. So yeah, nothing more to say. Let's just move right along to our next game.
The records may not indicate it, but this is still going to be a great matchup. This has the potential to be a 5-star shootout here. The Atlanta Falcons squaring off against the Pittsburgh Steelers at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. This game will be on Fox. Chris Myers, Daryl Moose Johnston, Laura Oakman on the call. Pittsburgh opening up as 3 to 3.5 point favorites. Pittsburgh leads the all-time series 13-2 with a tie. We all remember that tie back in 2002. What a 5-star game that was. Last meeting was 2014 in Atlanta. The Steelers won that 27-20 at the old Georgia Dome. Last meeting in Pittsburgh was 2010. Steelers won that 15-9 in overtime. And here's a little nugget for you. The Atlanta Falcons have never won in Pittsburgh. 2002, they almost did. But it ended in a tie. So those are all the schematics there. So Bullock, I mean, I know both teams' records are not all that attractive, but still, Atlanta and Pittsburgh going into the year, I'm sure a lot of people consider this maybe as a possible Super Bowl preview, but with the way these teams have been struggling lately, I don't think so.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, despite the records, I think this could be a shootout. I mean, when you look at both teams' offenses, I mean, of course, we all know with Matt Ryan and that Falcon offense, and of course Pittsburgh being led by Ben Roethlisberger, and of course Antonio Brown, and of course for the Falcons you also got Julio Jones. So I think this is definitely going to be an offensive shootout, and yeah. So anybody who doesn't like it, well, this is not the game for you. But if you are a fan of offense, this is the one for you. So to me, this is a tough one, but I'm gonna go with the Atlanta Falcons to win this one. I'm gonna say my final score. Um, I'm gonna say 37-34 is gonna be my final score. I mean, I would go with Pittsburgh, but with all the things that are going on surrounding that team, I mean, I just can't seem to get on them. So, would it surprise me if Pittsburgh won? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but I just think the Falcons to me are the better team here, so I gotta go with Atlanta. So nothing more to say. So Florio, I give it to you, and I got this feeling that you're probably gonna disagree with me.
I was, but after what you just said, I might have to go again. I might have to go with you on this. Getting running back Devontae Freeman back this week should make a Falcons offense averaging 29 points a game that much more dangerous. The Steelers have allowed 12 passing touchdowns, so the Falcons should find the end zone. But Atlanta's defensive woes might continue with defensive tackle Grady Jarrett out of the lineup. It is allowing 30.5 points a game and has had communication issues. And now Atlanta heads into what is sure to be a loud stadium. The Steelers know falling to 1-3-1. You Mike Willock. The Steelers know falling to 1-3-1 would require a serious climb back to contention. Pittsburgh is bad in virtually every metric. It is averaging 2.8 yards a rush the past 3 weeks, leads the league in penalties by 7 at 42, and its 1,682 yards and 12 passing touchdowns allowed are franchise worst through 4 games. Atlanta will most likely capitalize on those issues. Pittsburgh, 58% favorite. Atlanta's defense has been decimated by injuries, and it has showed. The Falcons rank 30th in the league in defensive efficiency. Even though Pittsburgh is a 58% favorite, I mean, especially after what I saw last Sunday night at home against the Ravens, I got to go with Atlanta. 35-28, Atlanta over Pittsburgh. That should be a good one there. So that's got potential to be a 5-star shootout. So nothing more to say here. Let's move on to the late games now. 4:05 over on CBS. The Oakland Raiders and the Los Angeles Chargers at the StubHub Center in Carson City. Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, Bruce Arians, and Melanie Collins on the call. We have Chargers opening up as 5 to 5.5 point favorites. Raiders lead the all-time series 62-52 with 2 ties. Chargers won both meetings last year, including a 30-10 beatdown in LA last year. Raiders' last win over San Diego, Raiders' last win at the Chargers was in San Diego, 2016. That was a 1916 win. So there's the history there. John Gruden said it best in the wake of his first NFL win in almost 10 years. There is no time to celebrate. Not with the Chargers up next, and not with the Raiders starting rookies at both offensive tackle spots for the first time since at least the 1970 AFL-NFL merger, in first-round pick Colton Miller and third-rounder Brandon Parker. Plus, Phillip Rivers has a history of carving up Oakland's secondary, which is noticeably slower this season, especially in the back end. He has more yards passing, 6,055, and touchdowns, 41, than any other quarterback Oakland has faced in franchise history. The Bolts swept the Raiders last season and now face an Oakland team playing 2 rookies at offensive tackle. So even without Joey Bosa, the Chargers should get pressure on quarterback Derek Carr. Rivers has a 16-8 career record against the Raiders and faces an Oakland defense giving up 31 points a game, second worst in the NFL. Chargers 73% favorites. John Gruden's Raiders might have gotten their first win of the season last week, but this week will be pivotal to any potential playoff run. Oakland's odds to make the playoffs would drop to 2% with a loss, though an upset here would jump them to almost 9%. The Chargers, on the other hand, are looking to keep pace with the Chiefs for the division. A win would keep them very much in the race with a 17.5% chance to take the AFC West. I'm going with the Chargers to win. My final score, 31-23, Chargers over the Raiders. Nothing more to say. So, Bullet, come on in. Chargers, and we got the Raiders and the Chargers at the StubHub Center in Carson City. Can the Raiders follow up after that very exciting and controversial win over Cleveland last week? Game of the week, 5-star. Who would have thought a Brown Raider game in 2018 would be a 5-star classic in the game of the week?
I don't think anybody would have expected that, but yeah, I mean, but somehow the Raiders, they got it done. I mean, in controversial fashion, you did say that, but now they got to focus on the LA Chargers. I mean, going up against Phillip Rivers and that offense that they have, and of course, we just found out for the Raiders, of course, they're going to be without veteran tackle Donald Penn for the rest of the year, and that's going to make it even tougher for them. And of course, that's tough for the Raiders to lose them because you got their defense they got to deal with, especially with Melvin Ingram. So yeah, so I think this should be a good one, but in the end, I gotta go with the LA Chargers to win this one. I'm gonna say my final score is gonna be. I'm gonna go 28-20 is gonna be my my final score. So yeah, there's really nothing more that needs to be said. So Floria, what's yours?
And now we move on to the NFC game of the week, America's game of the week on Fox. A rematch of last year's NFC Championship game. The Minnesota Vikings. We got the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, lower that again. Minnesota Vikings squaring off against the Philadelphia Eagles at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. And just like for that NFC Championship game, the A-team is back once again. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Aaron Andrews, they will be there. And Philadelphia opening up as 3-point favorites. Series history favors the Minnesota Vikings 13-10. Was the last meeting, of course, the NFC Championship, which the Eagles pounded the Vikings 38-7. Last regular season meeting was 2016 in Philadelphia. Eagles won 21-10. Vikings last win in Philadelphia was in 2010. That was a 24-14 final. So, all right, Bullock, here we go. Again, just like with that Atlanta-Pittsburgh matchup, the records may not be ideal, but still, it's Minnesota and Philly. The NFC Championship rematch. Will we have a more competitive and perhaps a more exciting Shakespearean drama-filled game like we should have had in that championship game last year?
Well, first off, before I get to that, some breaking news. The Boston Red Sox have taken Game 1 of the American League Division Series by a final of 5-4. The Yankees did manage to get a run in the top of the ninth thanks to an Aaron Judge home run, but in the end, it wasn't enough. So the Red Sox do their part to take care of home field in Game 1. And of course, Game 2 is set for tomorrow night. And of course, with David Price, who's going in Game 2 for your team?
I honestly don't know. I thought you would have known that.
All right. Well, let me just quickly check up on that before we talk about this. I mean, I really want to take a look here. Sorry if I'm holding up, but I really want. Oh yeah, Masahiro Tanaka. So that's your Game 2 matchup. Masahiro Tanaka and David Price. So your team definitely needs to get a win here tomorrow night, or could be a very tough road for you guys. Wouldn't you say so?
Absolutely. I mean, this is the best of 5 series. There's no room, there's no margin for error here. So we have to win game 2 tomorrow night. Because if we go down 0-2, even though we're going home, it's going to be an open and shut series.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all I got to say there. So now let's get back to this. Yeah, I mean, like you said, this is a rematch of the NFC Championship game, and of course Minnesota is definitely looking for some payback after they got shellacked by the Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, they had to face Nick Foles, and of course now this time around they're going to be going up against the returning Carson Wentz here. So yeah, the records may not look good for both sides, but I still think this could be a good one. So, and I expect this. And I expect this one to be much better than what we saw in the NFC Championship game. I mean, the offense has been good for the Vikings so far. Kirk Cousins is third in the NFL in passing yards, and you still got Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen. But the thing is, I mean, the Philadelphia's pass defense has been torched already. So who knows? This could be the opportunity for them, for the Minnesota Vikings to win this one. I gotta go with the Philadelphia Eagles to win this one. I think this is going to be a good one. I'm going to say 27-24 Philadelphia. Hold serve on their home field. And yeah, so there's nothing more to say. Florio, it is yours.
Doug Peterson and Mike Zimmer believe their team's early season struggles won't doom them for the rest of the season. So let's consider this week a turning point for both teams. With the running game reeling, generating a ground attack with a not fully healthy Dalvin Cook against the number 1 rushing defense is a tall task. In order for Kirk Cousins to continue orchestrating a prolific passing attack, he needs his defense to carry its weight. The Vikings have lived with the nightmare of the NFC title game for far too long and had 10 days to prepare for the Eagles. The Eagle defense is a totally different beast at home, holding opponents to an average of 14 points a game, compared to nearly double that on the road, a trend that dates back to last season. Jim Schwartz's unit is itching to get back on track after a disappointing showing in OT against Tennessee. The offense, meanwhile, just welcomed back Alshon Jeffrey, who stepped in last week and posted 100-plus receiving yards for the first time in an Eagles uniform. Philly, a 60% favorite. FPI gives the Eagles a 19% chance and the Vikings a 13% chance to get to the Super Bowl. Well, FPI gave the Eagles a 19% chance and the Vikings a 13% chance to get to the Super Bowl before the season. Those numbers have dropped considerably after slow starts. Philly is down to a 4% chance, and the Vikings a shade under 3%. A run for either team needs to start soon. I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles to win this. My final score, 26-20, Philadelphia over Minnesota. So, nothing more to say here. Let's move on to one of the zonk games of the week, if not the zonk game of the week. The Arizona Cardinals squaring off against the San Francisco 49ers at Levi's Stadium in San Francisco. On Fox, Dick Stockton, Mark Schlereth, and Jennifer Hale on the call. San Francisco, 3.5 to 4-point favorites. San Francisco leads the all-time series 29-24. However, Arizona has won the last 6 meetings in a row, sweeping the last 3 years in a row. 49ers' last home win over Arizona was 2014. That was a 20-17 final. But since then, it's been all Arizona in San Francisco. So, let's see. The Cardinals are in desperate need of a win Sunday against the Niners, who might be their best bet before the bye. Arizona has hope with rookie Josh Rosen. However, Arizona is still ranked 32nd in 21 offensive categories, and it'll be asking a rookie to win in his first road game. But Rosen isn't your average rookie, and Arizona is facing a Niners squad that's beat up and coming off a bad loss at the Chargers. The number of injuries the 49ers are dealing with make this one tough to call. But there should be an opportunity for the Niners to establish their 6th-ranked rushing attack against Arizona's 31st-ranked run defense. A break from facing top quarterbacks and the return of strong safety Jaquiski Tart should also benefit the 49ers' ailing pass defense. San Francisco a 76% favorite. FPI sees this as the 49ers' best chance at a win for the rest of the season. They are favored 5 more times this season, but not nearly as heavily as they are against the Cardinals. Arizona had its best offensive efficiency of the season with Rosen at the helm last week, but even that effort was below league average. I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers to win this one. My final score, 24-17. Nothing more to say. Bullock, your thoughts on Arizona and San Fran?
Yeah, I got San Fran winning this one as well. I mean, I'm gonna say the same score, 24-17. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be one of the Zonk games, if not maybe the Zonk game, but yeah, it's hard times gonna continue for the Cardinals, so nothing more to say. Let's just move right along.
Then we move on to our last late game here, 425. Another one on Fox. This should be a good one, Ho. A much better matchup here. The Los Angeles Rams squaring off against the Seattle Seahawks at CenturyLink Field in Seattle. This one over on Fox. Sam Rosen, Rondé Barber, and Joy Taylor on the call. I think Sam Rosen is sitting in Kenny Albert's spot. Let me see here. The Rams opening up as 7 to 8.5 point favorites. Series history favors the Seattle Seahawks 23-16. They split both meetings last year, both teams winning on the road. Rams went into Seattle and put a whooping on the Seahawks, 42-7. Seahawks' last win against the Rams at home was the year before, 2016. That was a 24-3 route there. So, all right, Bullock, the LA Rams, we all know they are the best team without a doubt. I think that's we're gonna indicate that in the power rankings, especially. Can they keep this amazing roll going? I mean, to me, I think the Rams are the most complete team in the NFL, and to me, they're my favorite to go all the way. They're that good.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. It's definitely tough to argue that. I mean, yeah, I mean, what can you say about the LA Rams? I mean, they're showing you why that they are definitely the best team in the NFL. I mean, they got it all with the offense. I mean, the defense. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, if you thought that Rams team was good from last year, I mean, with what they've done so far is just unreal. I mean, it seems like Florio, Jared Goff is going to continue to he's continuing to get better and better every single time that we see him. So, I mean, well, and the Rams offense, they're only second in the NFL in scoring behind Kansas City, and in that Thursday night matchup with Minnesota, he threw for over 465 yards and 5 touchdowns, and get this, Florio, he had a passer rating of 158.3. I mean, holy moly! I mean, and the Rams, they have scored more than 30 points in each of the first 4 games. That shows you how good this offense is. Not just with Jared Goff, but you also got Todd Gurley, you got Brandon Cooks. I mean, I could go on and on and on, and I think that Seattle defense is definitely going to feel the effects of it, especially since losing Earl Thomas. So yeah, I'm going to say the Rams win this one. My final score is going to be 34-20. So nothing more to say. Florio, what's yours?
The Rams are 4-0 and sit atop ESPN's power rankings, but their matchup against the 2-2 Seahawks is not one they're taking lightly, in large part because of the noise at CenturyLink Field. And don't forget about Russell Wilson. He can beat you himself, defensive coordinator Wade Phillips said. Not many quarterbacks can do that. You have to cover him for a long time, and that makes it hard. Los Angeles leads the league by a fairly wide margin in yards per play at 7.38. and Jared Goff has the most completions of 20-plus yards of any quarterback with 23. Slowing down Sean McVay's offense would be a tough enough task, even at full strength. It's hard to imagine the Seahawks doing that now, that their defense is missing its eraser on the back end in Earl Thomas, in addition to Pro Bowl linebacker KJ Wright. I got the LA Rams winning this as well. My final score, 32-21. The Rams over the Seahawks. Nothing more to say. Let's move on to Sunday Night Football. A matchup of the Dallas Cowboys and the Houston Texans. NRG Stadium, formerly Reliant Stadium in Houston, on NBC as always. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya will have the call. Just bear with me as I'm setting up my schematic here. Okay. Houston opening up as 3 to 3.5 point favorites. Series history favors the Dallas Cowboys 3-1. Cowboys have won each of the last 3 meetings against the Texans. Last meeting was 2014 in Dallas. Dallas won that 20-17. Last meeting in Houston was in 2010. Cowboys won that 27-13. Texans' only win against the Cowboys was their very first meeting in their very first game, as you all remember, week 1 on a Sunday night in 2002. The Houston Texans beat the Dallas Cowboys by a score of 19-10. But since then, it's been all Dallas in the series. So through 2 road games, the Cowboys are averaging 130 yards a game on the ground. The Cowboys' problem dating back to the end of last year is the passing game. They've thrown for more than 212 yards in a game away from home just once in their past 6 road games. They have converted more than 40% of their third down chances just twice and scored more than 20 points just once. This time, the passing game does just enough, or could do just enough. Through the first quarter of the season, the Cowboys have allowed 14 sacks, tied for 6th in the league. Texans front 7 will provide another tough task on Sunday night, if last week was any indication, behind another strong defensive performance by J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney, who combined for 4 sacks against the Colts. The Texans will win back-to-back games for the first time since 2016. Houston, a 58% favorite. Though it hasn't been as smooth as it was in his rookie season, Deshaun Watson has still played well, and FPI is extremely optimistic about the young quarterback going forward, a big reason why it favors Houston in this one. So I'm going to go with the Houston Texans to win this game as well. My final score, 21-17, Houston over Dallas. Nothing more to say. So Bullock, going into the season, this looked like an exciting matchup, but both teams stumbling out of the gate. Not as appealing, but you never know. It could still be a good one, though.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it's been up and down for the Cowboys, of course. Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, they had to count on him last week, and then. But I think this is definitely going to be a tough one for Ezekiel Elliott because he's got to deal with that defense of the Texans led by J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney. So, yeah, I'm going to say the same thing. I got Houston winning this one. I'm going to say 24-17 as my final score. So there's nothing more to say. Florio, it's time to move on to Monday Night Football.
Final game of the week. Monday Night Football, the Washington Redskins squaring off against the New Orleans Saints at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. Monday Night Football on ESPN. Joe Tessitore, Jason Witten, Booger McFarland, and Lisa Salters on the call. And the spread favoring the New Orleans Saints. The Saints opening up as 6 to 7 point favorites. Series history favors the Washington Redskins, though, 17-9. Saints won last year's meeting. We all remember this. Washington had a big lead, but the Saints came all the way back to win it, 34-31 in overtime. Redskins' last win in New Orleans was in 2012. That was a 40-32 win. That was on opening week. That was week 1 of 2012. That was when RG3 ran wild, as we all know. So, all right, Bullock. Redskins and Saints are our final game of the week here. And Drew Brees has a chance to make NFL history on Sunday night. He could become the all-time passing yards leader if all goes well.
Yeah, I mean that could be definitely a big chance for Drew Brees to make history with that. But yeah, I mean New Orleans. I mean, what can you say about them? They another good start for them, and of course a big thing here is the return for Mark Ingram, the return of Mark Ingram, and yeah, that'll definitely add a little more to that New Orleans Saints offense, and yeah, so. But the thing is, of course, who knows? This could be a tough one for the Saints. I mean, of course, with the Redskins off to their 2-1 start, and of course with what Adrian Peterson is able to do, and of course, they could also be getting back Josh Norman, and of course left tackle Trent Williams. So that could definitely really help them out. But I just like the Saints team, and I think they're the better team. And I'm gonna go with them, and I'm gonna say my final score will be 31-21. Is gonna be my final score. So nothing more to say, Florio. I give it to you.
The Redskins are 1-6 in Monday night games under Jay Gruden, but if they can win this game, it would provide a massive boost. The key will be how well Washington can run the ball. The Saints love to blitz and clog lanes, one reason why they rank third in rushing yards allowed, but it'll be hard for Washington to slow the Saints offense and Drew Brees. This feels like a setup for a Saints victory, a Monday night primetime home game with Brees just 201 yards away from becoming the NFL's all-time passing yards leader. Mark Ingram is returning from suspension to join two of the NFL's most dynamic playmakers in Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas. However, you can't sleep on a Redskin defense that has allowed less than 200 passing yards a game this year. New Orleans is a 62% favorite. Brees has dropped back to pass 66% of the time, his highest rate since 2013, and it has been working. So it's hard to imagine the Saints changing anything up despite Ingram's return. I'm going with the New Orleans Saints to win 27-24, Saints over the Redskins on Monday night, and I think Drew Brees will get that record. No doubt about it. So with all that being said, let's move on to, and of course, Thursday Night Football next week, the Philadelphia Eagles against the New York Giants. I got Philadelphia winning that one, so I'm not gonna read too much into it. So let's quickly now get into our newest power rankings here. So I'll take this for a spin. Bullock's gonna probably agree with me on it anyway. So number 10, Baltimore Ravens. Excuse me. They're playing well on both sides of the ball. The defense has been outstanding in the second half. They have a playoff look about them. Number 9, Cincinnati Bengals. At 3-1, they have proven to be a playoff contender, but they do need to tighten up on defense. Number 8, Carolina Panthers. After a bye, they play a winnable home game against the Giants. They play 3 straight against the NFC East coming up. Number 7, Washington Redskins. They come off their bye with a big game at New Orleans. That will decide an early contender in the NFC. New Orleans Saints at number 6. They won 2 straight on the road to take over the division lead. The defense played better against the Giants. Number 5, Chicago Bears. At 3-1, they are off to a fast start, and the offense is starting to really get going. The defense is nasty and could carry this team. Number 4, Jacksonville Jaguars. They face a monster game this week at Kansas City against the Chiefs. Their defense against the Chiefs' offense will be fun. Number 3, how about the Tennessee Titans? If Marcus Mariota can play like he did against the Eagles, they will be a playoff team. It's that simple. Number 2, Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is playing at such a high level already. Now comes his toughest test against the number 1 ranked Jags defense. And coming in at number 1 for me, the Los Angeles Rams. I mean, can their offense be stopped? It's clicking right now, and Jared Goff is an MVP candidate. So those are your power rankings, and we are going to put the ball on this edition of NFL Friday. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. Bullock, come on in. Let's get your shout outs real quick, and then I'll set up the future content.
All right, of course, I want to thank you all so very much for tuning in for another edition of NFL Friday. And of course, shout outs to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to support our shows. And of course, shout out to all of our super fans out there. Shout out to all of our friends from our high school days out there, including Michael Fletcher, like you said, couldn't be with us tonight. And of course, all of our local personalities from 6, 10, and 12. And of course, all of our personalities from ESPN, Fox Sports, MLB Network, and all the other networks out there. And of course, Status Sorrell and Lindsey McCormick. And of course, our friends from the Road Show, of course, former co-hosts Mary Larson and Megan Mooney. And of course, the three current people out there, Will Gilbert, Brendan Kirby, and of course, well, this is news to me, but I don't know if you knew about this, but congratulations to a married Michaela Johnson. I don't know if you heard about this, Florio.
Yes, I heard about it. I saw it on.
I mean, we kept wondering. I mean, why hasn't she been on the show? She didn't post anything, but she came back on Tuesday and said she got married. And we want to send out our congratulations to her and her husband, and we wish them the best of luck and with the future of their lives now as husband and wife. So major congratulations to the two of them. So yeah, that's gonna do it for me. So until Monday night for an all new Ridiculously Raw, where of course we will. Well, Flora will pretty much talk about it. I think it's going to be all about the fallout from the Super Showdown that's going to be coming up tomorrow morning. So, yeah, nothing more to say. So, until then, this is Mike Bullock saying thank you all so very much for tuning in. Of course, you know the routine. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it a fortune for style. Bye for now. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the college football tomorrow. And, of course, enjoy all the NFL action on Sunday. So, have a great weekend, everyone. Florio, take it home.
Yeah, we'll do Bullock. Of course, special shout out to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to make our shows as over as possible, especially Ridiculously Raw. Just north of 20 views this week. Just north of 20 views, 18 views. So thank you very much for that. Very much appreciate that. Of course, special shout outs to Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, and the Woodson family. Matt Ward, Jason Hicksonbaugh, Daniel Luttrell from the UK. Our other first ladies, Kaiser Butler, Megan Silva, and Lexi Calloway. The crew members, Tommy Souza, Eric Carrier, Jimmy Holden, Al Braderson, and Rob Parsons. And of course, good old MF Michael Fletcher, who couldn't be with us tonight because of work commitments beyond his control. And of course, the man himself, Derek Ferreira, puts it all together. And all of our personalities from 6, 10, and 12, MLB Network, NHL Network, NFL Network, NBA TV, Lindsey McCormick, Status Sorrell, Chantel McKay from the Golf Channel, our friends from the Road Show, the former co-hosts Megan Mooney and Mary Larson, Will Gilbert, Brendan Kirby, and yes, our congratulations and our prayers to Michaela Johnson, who's now a married woman. So we wish her and her husband Al all the best, and of course, last but not least, my wonderful friends and church family over at Oasis of Grace Ministries on 464 Silver Spring Street in Providence. If you need a church home, check them out. Exit 25 off Route 95. Sunday morning at 9, Bible study. A little after 10, Sunday morning service. And then Wednesday night at 7, Bible study as always. And other things going on. So that's it. And of course, Monday night, we got Ridiculously Raw. All the fallout from Super Showdown on the Raw side. And start the road to Evolution. Because Evolution will be the next event after this. So see what happens with that. And of course, either Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll have the Cerebral Smack Talk. But of course, on Ridiculously Raw, Raw Review, and my Tony's Take on 205 Live and Impact Wrestling. Cerebral Smack Talk either Tuesday or Wednesday with MF. Running down the SmackDown Live fallout from Super Showdown and other things. College football Thursday on Thursday, week 7. 4 huge matchups. we'll get into all of that on Thursday. And then, of course, next Friday night, week 6 edition of NFL Friday. I mean, the headliner next week, the Kansas City Chiefs and the New England Patriots in Foxborough on Sunday Night Football. That is going to be a beauty and a half, let me tell you. So, yeah, we'll get into all that next week. So, until Monday night for Ridiculously Raw, it's Anthony Florio here for Michael Bullock in his spirit. Good old MF Michael Fletcher, Dede Woodson, and Derek Pereira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. But for not my friends, God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed weekend. Enjoy all the college football action on this Saturday, as well as Super Showdown. And, of course, all the NFL action on Sunday. Have a great Columbus Day weekend. And until Monday night for Ridiculously Raw, you've been watching Strictly Sports NFL Friday, Week 5, right here on the Tone 25 and YouTube.com. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.